Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So today I want to bring you guys guide 2 of the 3 that I'm producing for Atlas of Worlds release, so you guys can kind of, get into the game and try some builds out that are very effective and work and really don't cost anything. So today in this video, we're going to go ahead and go over Ancestral Warchief, which I believe is a level 28 or level 31 gem as a totem. So we're going to talk about all, how to level before that, getting into it, and kind of what the tree looks like. So first off, before I start, I want to demonstrate to you guys what the skill looks like. Now, this character that I'm playing is not the character that I'm showing the guide for, but I don't have that character at the moment because I respected a while ago and went crit and did a bunch of crazy shit. But this character is a demonstration, like I said, of kind of how it's going to play out. This character is completely different, though, because it's shock-based and it uses an Oros, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of like how they look. Now, of course, these don't do any damage. There's no links in them. But you're going to get kind of like an estimate of, I guess you could say, how big the AoE would be. If you see the AoE on this totem right here, it's going to be about this size. If you're using Ink AoE, it's going to be even bigger. So the clear speed should be pretty nice by it. We'll be playing as Hierophant, so we'll have 3 totems. So in general, it's gonna make for a pretty clean build. So I want to go ahead and kind of show it step by step and show you guys what the Warchief Totem looks like. So the actual Ancestral Warchief Totem, you can see, deals 129% of your base attack damage. It summons a totem, 16% more melee damage while one totem is active. You have a less attack speed modifier. That's okay. Don't really have to worry about that. It's a solid totem. All right. So let's talk about kind of like how you're going to build the character. And again, I would show you guys demonstrations of them, but I can't because I don't have them. But I've played them before because I played this guy, so the build's going to be fine. I don't know in terms of like pushing tier 15 maps. These are just very basic characters to get you started into easy mapping, potentially even farming Labyrinth and whatnot. So I want to go ahead and boot this one up for you guys. Let me make sure everything can be seen. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and start with how I'm going to begin the character. So I'm going to start off as Templar, and this start here you can kind of rework how you'd like. It's really up to you. We'll be using Hatred and Herald of Ash in the build, which kind of makes the elemental damage scale a little bit better. If not, you can branch off like this to save points. You can come through the regen. This part is really flexible. I don't really like it though. So we're going to obviously start, grab our Retribution for some melee damage, attack speed, cast speed. Cast speed doesn't matter, mainly for just because it's a good node, and you're going to need the intel later on for AoE. You're going to grab Amplify, move down, come through Sanctity, come across, grab your Jewel. If you don't need the Jewel, you don't have to. Now, you don't have to come right to the Scion Life Will. Again, this is a beginner guide for you guys. Constitution is well worth picking up. So you really kind of, with the life nodes, be as generous as you'd like. Now, I went up to double totem, and the reason why is I wanted to get this build started as soon as possible. The reason why I don't have the totem nodes yet is because this is, you get the double totem node, you get the double totem, then you get the totem nodes. You don't ever have to get double totem. You'll see later on that it's respec out of. So this is how it would start off. Towards the middle also, you want to make sure when you clear Labyrinth, you're going to get Purest of Faith, which the first node is going to give mana regen and totem placement speed. Second is going to give increased damage per enemy killed. I believe this keeps on stacking as well. And you get some attack speed, which is not too bad. We're going to go ahead and move downward. So I decided to pick up the totem nodes now. Come inside to Marauder. The reason why I went to Marauder early is because the goal of this build is to use a two-handed mace. But if you don't have a two-handed mace, you don't want to pick up two-handed mace nodes, so instead let's pick up global damage that will work no matter what we are. So that's kind of like, it's like making a skeleton outline, and that's how I prefer to make my builds. I want them to be a skeleton in the beginning, and then as you start mapping, you start filling in all the good nodes, because leveling is not really too difficult in this game. Alright, so we picked up what we got here. Again, by going inside to Marauder, you get a ton of life regeneration as well, with Warrior's Blood, and Butchery is a very strong node. Remember to grab RT as you swing by. I forgot to mention that at first. RT is just a huge benefit because you don't have to ever worry about missing. Your accuracy is completely rolled off. The only thing you have to worry about is mobs that block, like shield charges and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up to the middle now. You guys can see kind of how it moves from here. So from the middle, you can see I ended up pulling out of double totem. I don't necessarily think that the points are worth it. They may end up being worth it. I may put the points back in. The reason why I pulled out is because instead I wanted to grab the fatty mace nodes, because by this point in time you should be, you should have a decent weapon. So I grabbed the fatty mace nodes. You can grab these right away. I just left them alone for now to grab them later. I ended up picking up Ritual of Awakening, which allows 2 additional totems to be summoned, and that's why I kind of dropped the double totem, because I already have triple totem right now. This also allows me to attack as well. I don't know if I'm going to attack. I might just use like Cyclone or something to get Fortify. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. As I said, I haven't played this specific exact character yet, but I've already leveled with the skill. I'm going to go ahead and move downward, grab Bloodless, come across. Bloody Bludgeon's really good. It's 14% Fizz, 14% Fizz, 18% Fizz with attack speed. I don't think that the Leech does anything as a totem. I could be incorrect. It's not something I'm really banking on or anything. I decided to move across, grab as well Wrecking Ball, which is a huge damage increase. 20% increased Fizz with 2-handed melee weapons and attack speed, alongside with Executioner as well. This also connects you to Golem's Blood, which gives you additional life regen, and your life is looking at 132, nothing too high right now. Once you go into the end game build, you'll see, once I pop this in, things will kind of change a little bit. So basically what I did for the end game one is you just fill in all the nodes. You fill in all the life nodes that you haven't picked up, and this puts me to 197% life. Now, one thing to note is this is 197% life with 7 endurance charges, because you get 1, 2, and then 3, and you get... I decided to go into Conviction of Power. This one, again, is totally up to you. The main reason why I got it is because I get 20% Endurance Charge duration. I don't really think that the Conviction of Power itself is going to do much for me. You could probably just pick up one of these ones as well. This is 10% area damage. I haven't really decided too much on this specific spot. And then I ended up filling in Armor as well, because I figured you have a decent amount of armor on the tree. If I were to scroll through the defenses... we are topping out at 180% increased armor, and Indomitable reduces the extra critical... well, you take reduced extra damage from critical strikes, which applies to spell damage as well. So that was pretty cool. And that's kind of like what the skeleton outline of this build would look. Of course, there's flexibility that if you want to, you can like come into Duelist, grab Destroyer, Massive Arena, Art of the Gladiator, or you could knock off the endurance charges and go somewhere else. You could even switch your weapon types. You could go from maces to axes to swords to what is it, staves. There's a bunch of different things you can kind of play around with. But that's kind of the gist of what the character would actually look like. So going in and moving on, let's go ahead and pull up the WordPad that I've got. 2016, everybody uses WordPad nowadays. So, in terms of a leveling weapon, I'm playing Self-Found, so I'm not really going to use it, so I just wanted to give you guys a little basic thing, and you guys can do this as well. You can just look at the weapons you want. It's very easy to distinguish it. Since we are using a mace, Joffrey's Baptism is a very, very good starter weapon. Has very nice physical damage on it. It is just a simple weapon. It'll carry you easily probably into your 50s with little to no effort, and you can kind of upgrade as well as you want to move on. And I'll have this stuff linked below. So what I decided to link to it, and these can be played around, oops, that's not the right one. These can kind of be played around with, but we've got melee physical, added fire, melee damage on full life, conk / AoE, faster attacks, and I don't know what I'd be doing with poison if I were to be doing something with poison. This is something that's kind of optional. Less duration was nerfed by about 10% damage on it, so I'm kind of leaning away from this, but it is something you can kind of play around with. I'm really liking the melee damage on full life. Melee damage on full life for totems works off of you. If you're on full life, your totem deals full damage. Unless it's bugged and it doesn't work like that, because when I last tested, if you're on full life, you get the snapshot of damage for your totems. You have a ton of life regeneration in the build, plus the endurance charges. You're easily going to set at 6,000 life. You should be able to stay at full life quite often to get this damage buff. So I think that's a pretty cool thing for it. Now, in terms of bandits, I'm going to go with potentially Oak, or Oak Creighton, Oak, or Oak Kill Oak. Oak at the beginning would give you the flat life. Oak in the second one would be 16% Fizz, or Creighton for the attack speed, and or Kill just for the stat. And then you have Endurance Charge from Oak again, which would put you at 7. So that's pretty much going to be the character. Like I said, I'll have everything linked down below. At the beginning, remember that you can't actually use the totem until I think it's 28 or 31. So I would recommend leveling with a two-handed weapon from Ground Slam into Sunder, and then from Sunder into your totem. Of course, you can just level with like Flame Totem if you wanted to, or kind of however you want to do it. There's a lot of flexibility with the build. And you could do other variations like Face Breaker, which is probably better. But again, as a self-found character, trying to find a Face Breaker is, I gotta get a good roll Face Breaker. That's pretty much going to conclude it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, all this information will be linked in the comments below. I'll just link all the builds down there as well. So if you guys liked it, like I said, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you can catch me streaming live every day at twitch.tv/Pohx. Hope you guys had a wonderful time, and take care, everybody.